How's everybody doing? Tinkering with Harleys. I want to thank all of you who have subscribed, and if you're watching these videos and enjoying them, by all means, please subscribe. Well, I haven't put a video up in a couple of weeks, basically because I haven't had that much to show you. But today we're going to be installing a cold air induction on TJ's bike. And it's an Arlen Ness. Right here, this is what we're gonna be putting on the bike. So, we'll get right to it. Now, the first thing you wanna do with this is you wanna take your stock air cleaner off, or whatever air cleaner you have, and the backing plate, and clean this off and clean out the throttle body. When you're cleaning it out, you know, if you have any dirt, oil, or anything in here, you might had a problem, a leak or something like that. This one came apart, you know, because we'd put this one together. This one came out clean. The only thing I had to wipe off was right here. So now I'm going to show you the differences of what we're going to have between the new cold air intake and the stock air cleaner. Okay, now I'm going to show you the differences here. Now, this is a stock air cleaner that came off of TJ's bike. And if you look right here, there's 3 holes. That's where the air came into the air cleaner. And for stock, works very well. And what we're going to is this. So we're going to get significantly more air to the engine than what the stock air cleaner delivers. So after this is installed, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to adjust the air fuel mixture, because it's going to be running lean after we put this thing on. And running lean is not good. Makes the bike run hot. So that'll be in a different video, but after it's all together, that's what we're going to need to do. So now we'll go on and we'll start to get this thing together. Okay, now we got everything laid out that came in the box. And I got to tell you, I'm impressed. I put a number of these on different brands. I've never done an Arlen Ness before, but this appears to be very well made. It's heavier than others that I've done. And they give you everything with it, all the hardware and gaskets to put this thing together. So what we're going to do is we are going to start to get this assembled. Okay, so we're going to get started. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go step by step on how to install this. Just because I can. And that way, if you've never done this before, and it does come with pretty good instructions, and you want to follow those instructions. So we'll get started here. The kit comes with 2 O-rings, and they go right in there. So what you want to do is put a little grease on these O-rings. Just coat them up. And slap them in there. That'll help keep them from popping out on you. And I use white lithium grease. Yeah, it doesn't hurt anything. And then you just want to wipe the excess off your hands. And we'll get this out of the way. And this is the gasket. So you want to line the gasket up. And it gives you three 3 bolts with it. And you want to take those and put Loctite on them. And just snug this up. So I've already put the Loctite on, so we'll go over to the bike and we'll get this started. There we go. And these take an Allen rather than a T27 like's on the stock. And you just want to get these finger tight. There it goes. And then we'll get the third one in there. And you don't need a lot of Loctite, just a drop. And you just hand tighten those. And you also make sure that those O-rings stay in place. When you slip that on up against the heads. Now we'll go ahead and we'll get the breather bolts in there. Hey Muggs, how you doing, buddy? And the washers, and you put a little Loctite on the threads of the breather bolts also. Now we got the breather bolts, and they come with brass bushings, and you slide the brass bushing over there. And put the breather in there, put it into the hole, and hand tighten it. And same thing on both sides. These are not hard to install. And these are also Allens. And you just run them in there. Okay, now we want to torque these 3 down and then these 2 down. Now, the backing plate bolts, they get torqued to 10 foot-pounds, 10 to 12 foot-pounds, which is not very much. So we'll go ahead and get them torqued in. And kind of take and go around and move them in gradually so they're even. So that way nothing, not that it's gonna warp, but it can. Okay. And we kind of got them walked in there just about the way we want. And now we'll torque them. There's one. There's 2. And there's 3. Do it again. 1, 2, Come on, get in there. This one's kind of where you can't see it. Okay, that takes care of the backing plate bolts. Now we will do the breather bolts. Okay, now we'll torque the breather bolts. Now, I dislike breather bolts. These you have to be very careful with. If you go down too hard on these will snap off in the head. Now, the older style that had the bolt head, you put them on with an open end, and if you bore down on them, they will snap off in the head. And if you've ever done one and snapped one off, you'll understand why I don't like them. You can't bear down on them. Now, these get torqued at 18 foot-pounds, and that's why I say follow the directions when you do this. So we'll do this the same way. We'll give each one a little bit to make sure it's even. There's one. There's two. Okay. And that's 18 foot-pounds. So now the backing plate is on, and we can start to assemble the rest of this. Okay, so before we put the elbow on, they give you an O-ring right here, and it goes right around in here to seal everything up. And you want to make sure you have this oiled up, because you never want to put a dry O-ring in. So you get that started like that, press it in, and just kind of go around the whole thing. Go around the grooves, and somebody's trying to get a hold of me. And make sure you push it in there real good. So now you got a nice tight seal when you put that elbow on there. Now we'll get the elbow on. And line the bolts up. And you might have to press down on this a little bit because of that O-ring that's in there. And this is probably the most pain in the ass part of the job right here, is lining these up. You wouldn't think it is, but there's a little bit of room, and you don't want to cross-thread them. And that's why you got to press it a little bit. Try the other side. I don't know. Yeah, sometimes these just kind of mess with you lining them up. Anyone don't want to line up? Yeah, we're gonna have to get a flashlight. Take a look in here and see why we're just off a shade. Okay, we're back. what we had to do, the reason the bolts wouldn't go in is the backing plate, when they dipped this in chrome, they didn't plug the holes for the screws. And what happened is the chrome got in there and there wasn't enough thread to bite on. So what I had to do, I had to take the whole backing plate off, tap the 3 holes here, and then put the backing plate back on, and then the screws went right in. But I figured there was no point in showing you all that because that's all time consuming. But that's what happened. There was chrome in each of the 3 holes, and I just had to get it out. So we ran a tap through it, cleaned them out, and then the bolts went right in. So now we'll finish putting this thing together. Okay, now we're going to get the billet and the air cleaner all together. Now, this is, you can use this on an Indian or a Harley, but they have different applications. So what we need to do is, for a Harley, it says, for HD models, position the Arlen Ness logo straight with the hose clamp notched 90 degrees to the right. So we'll find the logo. Okay, there's the logo. And 90 degrees to the right, which would be right about there. Okay, there we go. That's lined up. Now we have to take these little screws and get these in there. And we got to put Loctite on each one of them. So we'll go ahead and do that. And they go down to get torqued to, what is it, 8 to 10, 9 inch-pounds. My inch-pounds wrench doesn't go that low. This is going to be fun. These things are little. Okay, that's one. Yeah, it shows you even, with mass-produced parts. In the old days, when we used to bring stuff to the chromer, we used to have to take, any threaded holes or anything like that, and would have to plug them up so that the chrome didn't get down in the threads. Otherwise, you'd have to do what I had to do is rethread the, run a tap down through the hole. And so I guess when they dip these, they don't plug those holes. The chrome gets right in there with them. So, and you got to retap them, because if you force it, they're going to cross thread, and you don't want that, because then you're going to have to retap it anyway. Okay, now we'll snug all these up. Yeah, they want their name facing up. I tell you what, this is, for a mass-produced part, this thing did impress me. It's far more. The only other one I've seen that's comparable is an S&S. This Arlen Ness this is a good piece. I like it. And I have 9 inch-pounds is not much torque. And like I said, my inch-pounds torque wrench does not go that low. So we're going to guesstimate at what 9 inch-pounds is. And I'm thinking right about where. Because we don't want to snap any of these off. That one's not all the way down. There it is. That one's down. Then we'll come over here and do this one. Make sure this is in frame. That one's down. That one we already did. That one's down. That one's down. That's down. Okay, so that is now, the billet cover is all over it. So that looks pretty good. So now we're going to go throw it on the bike. Now we put a little coat of grease over this and in here. And now we'll press it on. There it goes. And now we'll turn it down like that. Let me see if the nut driver will go in there. Yeah, nut driver will go in. And that's it. We are done. So, there we go. That's how it looks when it's on there. Impressive. Big. That's it. That's how you get one of those air cleaners on there. And now the next thing we'll do is we'll have to do the air fuel mixture, because there's going to be a lot of air going in there. And a lot more than was going in there previously, so that's got to be adjusted. So that's pretty much going to do it for today. I hope this helps somebody, and until next time, everybody be safe out there.